They say opportunity only knocks once. Craig Westfall didn't wait for opportunity to come knocking at his door. Instead, he built his own door with a room full of lights, cameras, and dreams on the other side. Craig makes his living watching life through a lens. He started out 15 years ago as a TV photojournalist, first in Lansing and later in Grand Rapids.
You know, I much prefer the other side of the camera that Jason's on over there.
In 2001, Craig joined a local outdoor sports television production company. As director of photography, he had a lot of creative license, and his company afforded him a great work environment. But as time went on, Craig began to feel that something was lacking.
In the company I was at, it was great. We had great autonomy. We had great, I could do things, and I was making a lot of upper level decisions, and I was thinking about how you run a company. In the line of work I was in, I was sitting for hours with presidents of major companies and having great conversations with them. And so after a while, I just felt I couldn't succeed or get to where I wanted to be for me and my family as an employee anymore.
6 years went by. Craig wanted a stake in running the company, but it wasn't his to run. He was away from home a lot on location shoots, and he felt cut off from his neighborhood and community. Craig began to feel restless. Somewhere along the way, a seed had been planted. Remembering his encounters with all those corporate execs, Craig began to think about what it would take to drive his own vision, to be his own boss. By Christmas 2007, Craig could resist his urge no longer.
I might have made the leap a little earlier than I needed to or should have, prudently. But it was just a pent-up thing. I just knew there was more I could do, and I wasn't able to do it in my job. And it was just almost just an explosion. I have to get out here. I've got to do it, and I just did it. And that's when everyone notices, and they go, "Man, you just quit your job. What are you doing?" And they don't understand that it's just you're going, and it's what you have to do.
People who write documentation, so the help file you'll see in
a week after leaving his job, Craig launched Kiwi Productions. He knew the challenges of carving out a business in a world where multimedia technology is at the fingertips of millions of people. But Craig also knew his own skill set. He was confident he could deliver something far better than the low-grade, do-it-yourself video that permeates the internet. That fall, a unique opportunity surfaced. The city of East Lansing was creating a high-tech business incubator. The Technology Innovation Center, popularly called the TIC, promised to offer Craig more than just physical space.
You get exposed to ideas and concepts that alone in your basement you wouldn't have considered.
Craig signed on as one of the TIC's first tenants. That's when he met Justin Kane, who was hatching his own video company, Good Time Communications. Craig and Justin found themselves working the same gigs and admiring each other's talents. Craig was a strong producer, and Justin was a well-connected networker. The two men decided to pool their resources. Kiwi and Good Time merged into Good Fruit Video. Last month, the pair celebrated their first anniversary as business partners. One of Good Fruit's signature products is the BizVid, a short video profiling a group or organization. Craig counts among his clients companies like New Wave and Enliven Software. The city of Lansing hired Good Fruit to spotlight several of its tenant companies. Craig does not view entrepreneurship as especially hard or intangible. In fact, he's come to believe that there's an entrepreneur within everyone.
There's plenty of work to do if you just organize your skill set, market it, put it out there, tell people what it is you can do for them. The people who need it will come and get it. I don't see that there's like no, you have to drum up business, you have to create all this marketplace. The marketplace is there. You just have to organize yourself and communicate what you're doing so that people can find you.
5 months ago or something.
Craig doesn't worry about competition. He's convinced there's a lot more work out there than his company could ever handle on its own. And so far, the numbers are playing that out. Craig's business grossed $70,000 in 2009. He expects to make at least twice that in 2010, and possibly much more. Good Fruit is starting to blossom.
Gets my desk in order anyway.
The two-man operation is chugging along just fine, as Craig puts it. But change is a constant, so Good Fruit is charting its future. East Lansing only allows its tenants to stay in the TIC for 3 years. Craig is now focusing on efficiency measures with an eye toward bringing a staff on board.
You know, I thought, well, we'd have a handful of employees and we can do that. That was kind of the first path I thought about. And then I started thinking about this, a concept that could go larger.
Craig's big dream is to enable people with good multimedia skills to find their own place in the market and infuse in them his own standards of quality and professionalism.
We have a concept that we're exploring, that we're developing, that could become a franchise. And then what have we done? We're just two knuckleheads who thought it was funny to combine our name and make a company around video, but then, you know, maybe 5 years from now, we have our first franchise in this area. And that franchise is so successful that it pops over in another community where it's needed. And then it catches on, and all of a sudden we have, you know, 100 in this Midwest region. How many jobs created from that? How much does it help the economy in a local area?
When the person is sitting right next to you now.
The current downturn may be fueling more people to take the same risks Craig did to achieve self-employment. One of Craig's clients thinks more should be done to nourish the entrepreneurial spark.
Entrepreneurs have a particular personality and characteristic, and they sort of flow like water. You can throw whatever you need to in front of them, and they'll find a way to get around it and get where they're going. We need to encourage a lot more of that as a community and as a state. We need to think differently about entrepreneurs, and we need to look at all sorts of ways to make it easier for them to do what they do, to fail sometimes and have that be okay, but let them keep going back at it.
I know it was a screencast project.
That may be the biggest barrier to new ventures, finding the mettle to embrace and even celebrate failure. Craig Westfall made peace with that a long time ago.
I'm okay with failure. I've become very comfortable with the fact that life is up and down, and it goes in waves. And there's going to be good times and bad times, and you're going to feel better about yourself and worse about yourself, and it's just up and down. You are never, for one time and always, a success or a failure. You're going to be going up and down. And so my attitude is just keep moving.
Perpetual motion is important for a man like Craig. He's 45, married with 2 young children. He's shed the fearlessness that often marks younger entrepreneurs with a lot less at stake. Time has taught him to separate his personal sense of self-worth from his ability to be productive. Craig's supporters are quick to admire his grit.
He has a wife and kids to support, and without his income, it isn't a very glamorous life, and that's a huge, huge risk that he's taking. And I think being able to take that leap of faith is one thing, but be able to sustain it and actually make enough income that it's working, and to be able to ride out that curve. There's going to be that lull where things aren't necessarily lining up, bills aren't necessarily getting paid. To be able to ride it out and to know that on the other side of this hill is opportunity for yourself and for whoever it is that you're supporting.
Craig Westfall has climbed that hill. He prefers to focus on the view.
A few months down the road, when the reality hits that, boy, I'm not getting clients as fast as I want, I'm not getting this, what am I going to do, where's the money coming from? For me, it was it was almost a spiritual journey, in that you do a lot of talking to God. I believe in God, but whoever you talk to support yourself emotionally and spiritually, that's what I did a lot of. And lo and behold, I don't know how it's happened to this point, but without a job and knowing where my money's coming from, I always got just enough, just enough, just enough. And it was like he was saying, just keep doing what you're doing, just keep doing what you're doing. And I did, and I'm here. Sorry. And so why stop? And that's where I got beyond the fear.
Local support for WKAR's By the People, Hard Times, Hard Choices project is provided by McNeil Lehrer Productions, the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, and the Rockefeller Brothers Fund.